Welcome back for another episode of the Big Boys Podcast. You know, here at Big Boys, we're not afraid to get in touch with our sensitive side. Matter of fact, we love a good romantic comedy, which is why we're bringing you an AI movie trailer for a romantic comedy. All you hopeless romantics out there, prepare to cry and laugh this week on Big Boys.
Prepare to be mesmerized and or mortified.
Well, what's happening there?
Old Sorrel's here had himself a nap.
You son of a...
Yeah, clever. Kind of soft and only like in one ear.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
Look at those boys, ain't they
Big Boys with Brian Hickey and John the Great. And, sittering the chi. All right, welcome to another beautiful episode of the Big Boys Podcast. I believe we are on episode 6 now, are we not?
That sounds correct.
Yeah, we took a little week break there. John had to go visit some family, and you know what? It wasn't really. You visiting the family was planned, but the break wasn't planned. We should have figured that out beforehand. But you know what? To be honest, kind of glad it happened. Needed that time off. You know,
Yeah.
Needed to be able to center the chi, John. You know,
Chi is best at when it's centered, when it's at a point of 0,0.
exactly.
Yeah.
I find when the chi is off the 0,0, is that what you
Yeah.
said there? Yeah,
Like
when
if
it's
on an X and Y axis, it would be right at center. Which is
yeah, and you know, it was not on the X and the Y, nor the Z axis. If we're gonna get really that technical,
Yeah,
into
if we
that.
add a Z axis, give it depth, then it's 0,0,0.
Yeah. At any rate, the chi was off, but we're back on now, and the chi it's centered in all the axis. We're axe happy, and hey, all you dear listeners, we appreciate you tuning in. Please feel free to follow us, like and subscribe at Big Boys Podspot. That's on all the social medias. So just go ahead and check those out and give them a whirl. You know. John, how was the visiting the family?
It was nice, you know. Some time off relaxing. You know, time off from work is always a plus.
It is.
You know, it was good to see him. I hadn't seen him in a while.
Is this are both your parents from New Mexico, or is it just your dad?
Just my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did your mom and dad meet, if you don't mind me asking?
My mom moved down there. I think she had friends down there, and it was kind of that didn't want to be hanging around her hometown anymore. And
Yeah, she was just like, I'm gonna go find me a cowboy.
I don't think that was necessarily the goal, but that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She watched her some urban cowboy. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna go down to New Mexico and find me a cowboy named Joe.
I guess so.
It's a pretty good impression of your mom, right?
Yeah, it sounds exactly like her.
Yeah. And your dad was not petrified by the sound of her voice, and just, hey, is your name Joe, cowboy? And they got together there, huh?
Yeah, assuming that's his real name, but yeah.
Yeah.
That
by the
could
way,
be a fake name we're using.
it could be, but also, I want to get to the bottom of this. What are you so afraid of people like locating you? You realize
It's just in general safety precautions. I don't want to reveal too much.
from home.
You never know, man.
Yeah, but when have you
That's
ever?
a general online safety rule. You don't want to give out too much personal info.
Sure, but like there's like 19,000 podcasts out here in the world. Okay? And like the really big ones, like, you know, they all kind of let you know where they're broadcasting out of. You know, there's
But if you're Joe Rogan, you're in a studio with security, and he has his own personal security. Plus, Joe Rogan's way better at martial arts than me, so
for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I like that you took that into account. when figuring out your privacy for yourself and for your family, as you assume that one of our 40 listeners is for sure going to be a stalker.
Obsessed fan. That's all it takes is one obsessed fan.
Buddy, if we can achieve one fan, I don't really care if they're obsessed. You know, like, hey, good for them.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I want healthy obsession.
Yeah.
But, you know, that line can sometimes be, you know.
Yeah, but like, dude, what do you not even want me to say what city you're? You already said it, by the way. You already said.
Yeah, I'm sure it was mentioned in earlier podcasts. I thought of that, and I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah, but it's needless to say, it's a fair sized city. Okay.
Yeah.
And honestly, if we did have an obsessed fan, God willing, they could probably already put the components together to figure out where you are. You're not a hard guy to find, is what I'm getting at. You're a creature of habit.
That's all the more reason you don't want to release extra details. There's a guy going around on TikTok, and it actually became a challenge. People would send photos, just random, hey, where am I? Just on like in a parking lot somewhere, and he would figure out where they are, like anywhere in America. And it's kind of scary when you think about it, that somebody if they really want to put their mind to it, they could do that. And that's kind of worrisome.
I guess. And you know what? I'm going to stop feeding into it, but because just thinking about it, actually, mainly because I'm in a larger landmass of a city and it's sprawling and there's a lot of things everywhere. Like, it's even as forthcoming as I have been about myself, my personal life, and where I'm at and all that, much harder to find me versus you in your suburban town and being a regular at once again a bar that you've already mentioned on the podcast. Yep. That's you found you already done, already easy to locate you.
But if I had to disappear, I could.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't. You would be the easiest guy to track. Mm-hmm. Again, we're not going to.
I mean, I guess if they could get my personal records from work or something.
Yeah, but it's also like, if I just trailed this guy from that unnamed bar that we won't mention again, unless you were comfortable doing it.
That's true. They would have to do that before they revealed themselves to me. You're right. I guess if they do that, then
yeah. But like, you live like 900 yards max from where you work.
True, but I have other places I could go, is what I'm saying.
You could, but you know what? Yeah. All right, let's quit going down this road now, because I'm making myself uncomfortable. I don't want people. I mean, again, God willing, one of the 40.
No. I would love some healthy obsession, but you never know.
Yeah. Well, anyways, back to your parents' meeting in New Mexico. When was this? How long were they together before you and
I honestly don't know how long they were together. Well, I mean, they were married 3 years before I was born, but
right. And then Josiah, your brother.
Yeah, so 2 years before he was born.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure like how long they dated and all that, if you really wanted to get down into the nitty gritty, but.
Okay. But they met in New Mexico.
Correct. Okay. And actually, I want to say small world. One of the friends I had mentioned that she knew down there that was from up where she was from, married like one of my dad's best friends. So.
Oh yeah, very small world.
Yeah.
Very small world. Very easy to track you. Just put all the steps together, and hey, if I have to testify in court, I'll do so over video call for you if that's what you need, bud. Again, I don't want it to happen, but if it does, it's like, as you say, no such thing as bad publicity, right?
That's true, but there's also not bad publicity, but bad things for my life. See, they're not.
Yeah. There's such thing as bad safety.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know how everyone is just out to track down old John Boy.
Yeah, well, I'm enticing. So
yes, the 3 things you do a week. Oh, so enticing.
I do. I'm a mysterious individual. So it may not seem that way to you, Brian, because we go way back, but to many others, I'm a bit mysterious.
Yes, you're about as mysterious as a robot who does the same 3 tasks over and over again. You know?
Yeah, you pass butter. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. So so tell me more about what you guys do on this vacay.
It was pretty cool, you know. Toured some of the local sites. Apparently, nearby there was a hotspot barbecue place. And what was kind of cool was originally, you know, and it's one of those where you got to line up ahead of time because the line's already forming. And I'll tell you what, man, this is the gig to have. If you've got something as kind of a commodity that you do well, like this place was only open like Thursday through Sunday from like 11 a.m. until it was gone. That's what it said, 11 a.m. till it's gone. And I was like, man, dude only works like 4 days a week. Wait, yeah, 4 days a week. You know, like not even a full day, really. I was like, man, that's the way to do it. And yeah, so it was barbecue, and of course, you know, you kind of go in there. Me and my dad were making jokes about like, oh, come in there and be like, oh, we're Texans, we'll be the judge of what's good barbecue. Come to find out, the guy that owns the place is from Lockhart, Texas, which is down around Austin.
This world
which
is so
which
small.
I guess has been declared the barbecue capital of Texas, and so. It says that on there, like, from Lockhart, barbecue capital. And so we're kind of like, well, there's kind of pulling the Texan card going out the window. I mean, not that I was really going to go in there and do that, but it was funny to joke about. And
yeah.
There's
a place around here over kind of near Venice. It says like best Texas barbecue, which I haven't gone to check out. But every time I drive by it, I just want to like pull my car over and just get out and scream, liars!
Yeah. And be like, the best? Really?
Yeah. I'm sure they're from Lockhart too, though.
Yeah. And, but yeah, honestly, I've noticed that in several places. It seems like they're like, a lot of places don't work a full day. There was like a burger place we went to that was only open like 11 to 3.
That's like pretty much, I'd say about 80% of the restaurants out here in LA. It makes it more of a commodity, right? It's more of the marketing of it. And then also, you know, your overhead, I guess, is, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into just
see, that was kind of my thought.
Town,
I was like, all right, this is really just a burger place. Lunch is probably their biggest time, so they're just open 11 to 3. I'm sure. And when we were there, it just looked like one lady in the place. She's probably the owner operator. I'm sure she gets there a little early and is like, you know, obviously opening up and prepping and getting the grill going and probably making patties and dicing vegetables and whatever. And then she's got some cleanup after she leaves. But I was like, still like, There's another little jewelry place because my mom wanted to get some turquoise that they went to, and we're looking at stuff. And this place was like, yeah, we open at 9, close at noon for lunch. Don't open back up till 1:30, so it's like an hour and a half lunch. And then they close at 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I was like, man, like nowhere around here works a full day. Like,
you hear that, New Mexico? It don't work.
Yeah. Hey, but they're getting by, so I say more power to them on that. I don't want to work a full day.
Yeah,
I didn't
but
have to. Yeah.
Was this like a small town though, or?
I mean, it's not like tiny.
Okay.
You know, I was maybe I'm trying to remember what it was saying. Like the population was.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the small town that my parents live out here.
It's not that small.
I was going to say, like, that's a tiny town, but also, like, you kind of expect that with, like, half the joints that are there. It's just, like, it's people that are kind of half-ass retired, you know, just.
Okay, no, it's a decently, like, mid-sized city. I mean, it's nothing compared to, like, L.A., but it's, like, 31,000 people.
Okay, yeah. So,
yeah.
You know, decent-sized little suburb.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting, though, man. You would think, you know, when I think of people that are only open part-time, I think of either, you know, people that are in a small town, half-ass retired, or like, you know, Wiccans and Louisiana.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, I'm exaggerating. It wasn't like literally everywhere, like nowhere was open a full day, but it just seemed a lot of these places, especially like one-offs or like smaller privately owned, they had just whatever their hours were. You know, now obviously if you went to like the McDonald's or you know, they had a Home Depot in town, those have whatever hours they've got, but.
Well, yeah, because that is capitalism.
Those are like major stores. Yeah.
That is capitalism in its truest form. There is no closing.
Yeah.
You know. they're working to extend their hours into where their employees are just living on cots in the back. And then that
Yeah.
Home Depot is the home of these depot employees.
I mean,
It's a
you say
self-fulfilling
that,
prophecy.
but then you get some companies that stops being 24 hours. I think COVID forced a few of their hands, and then they were just kind of like, you know what, like this really isn't affecting the profit. We're saving money.
What name one store?
Walmart.
I mean, like some of them, right? But not all of them, right?
Well, yeah, not all. I'm just saying some stops being 24 hour.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. Well, Whataburger stopped for a while. They're back. They're
Yeah, and
24 hour again.
I suspect the Walmarts will probably go back too, because
I'm honestly not sure they will.
no. Is the motto there not "fuck whatever Sam Walton thought"? Just
Oh, yeah.
make it.
It seems like that's the unofficial one, but I don't know. I think, like I said, COVID probably forced their hand, and they're probably realizing how much they were getting stolen from overnight. So I guarantee they're saving on that. They still got to have overnight like stalkers and stuff, but they can basically have like minimal amount of people. They don't need any of the registers open. They don't need any of the front end stuff going on. You don't have to worry about having extra people to help. Because there are always a few customers in there, no matter what time. So you don't need anybody that can do that. Or anybody that needs to get keys to help customers, anything like that. So
Sure. Yeah.
So
No.
I don't know. I'm just speculating here, but
Right. Yeah. You just as a guy who wants to be very private about his workspace, you know a lot about Walmart.
I'm observant.
You're an observant guy, that's for sure. That's for sure. So we got ourselves a segment here, another ChatGPT trailer. Did you were you able to pull up that?
Yeah, I got it here.
Okay, cool. So this one I haven't read at all. I just farted it out and sent it to you. And I don't even know if it has a title. But the caveat of this trailer versus our other ones is I specifically asked ChatGPT to make it a radio movie trailer. So we'll see if there's any newfangled changes. And so this is the one for I honestly don't even remember. Well, I guess it was when we were talking about the doctor stuff or whatever, which that's your go-to topic. But the movie trailer
It's interesting.
for the proctologist, two homosexual proctologists
Oh yeah,
that find each other, but they're
it's
not
still
into
funny.
but they're not into butt stuff. And that's essentially what I'll just read you what I put into ChatGPT. Please write me a radio movie trailer comedy sketch for a romantic comedy about two homosexual male proctologists who fall in love but are not into butt stuff.
See, I'm already laughing. Like,
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. And you know what? I got a feeling we're going to be both the characters. So I'm just scrolling through it, and I'll be I will be Dr. Alex Thompson, and you can
Okay.
be Dr. Ryan Miller.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Are you going to also be the narrator?
Yeah, just because my ego says I need to be.
Okay.
Yeah. But hey, when we get to the characters, let's really go method. Let's really fall in love, but no butt
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Our
But,
love has boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that ends up being the name of this.
That's the catch line. Yeah.
All right. If not, that's certainly the log line that goes on IMDb. Our
Yeah.
love has boundaries.
yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Sound effects. Upbeat music playing. Narrator. In a world where love knows no bounds, we're already on the right path here, and laughter is the best medicine, comes a hilarious romantic comedy that will leave you in stitches. And then it says sound effects laughter. So yeah, I guess it took this as a sitcom then. But here we are. I digress. Meet Dr. Alex Thompson, played by insert an actor name. Could have just been me, chat, but that's fine. A charismatic and dedicated proctologist who has a knack for making patients smile, even in the most uncomfortable situations. And then this is me, Dr. Alex Thompson. Don't worry, folks. I'm here to check your rear, but I promise, no funny business. And then sound effects. Narrator. And introducing Dr. Ryan Miller, portrayed by insert actor name. We'll call him John the Great. A witty and charming proctologist whose bedside manner is as impeccable as his taste in designer scrubs.
We may be experts in the rear end, but our hearts are where the real action is.
Lighthearted music plays. They've got the perfect prescription for life until fate takes an unexpected turn. Dramatic music plays. Ryan, I never thought I'd say this, but I think I'm in love with you.
Alex, I've been checking your charts, and it seems I'm head over heels for you too.
Sound effects. Oh, get ready for a roller coaster ride of emotions as these two proctologists navigate the rocky road of romance. How could you even describe a sound effect of a comedic mishap?
Comedic mishap.
Yeah.
And then, Showa, are you guys well into, you know?
Oh, no. We're not really into that. We prefer exploring the heart, not the rear. Sound effects laughter. From the hilarious misadventures in the operating room to heartwarming moments at their favorite coffee shop. This is a love story that proves there's more to a relationship than what meets the eye. Sound effects, uplifting music.
Alex, together we can face any challenge, even if it involves a colonoscopy marathon.
Ryan, you're the only but. What the Ryan, you're the only but I want to spend my life with. Sound effects, cheers. I think ChatGPT had an aneurysm on this one. Get ready to laugh, cry, and root for love in its most unexpected form. Don't miss heartfelt endings. A love story deeper than you would expect. Sound effects, upbeat music. Coming soon to a theater near you. Get your tickets now because this romantic comedy will have you falling in love all over again. Sound effects, closing jingle, end of the radio movie trailer sketch. Okay. Sounds weird.
Yeah, it was very weird. So question, that could be the log line, like you said, or that could be the name of the because it didn't give it a title. It could be the name Love with Boundaries.
No, yeah, well, Love with Boundaries is good too, but it says it did give it a title.
Oh, was it?
Heartfelt endings. And then colon, no pun intended. Love story.
Okay, I see. That was the name.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. But what I found that was weird here, though, is that it read to me like a sitcom, which I didn't even really think when I typed it in. Like, oh yeah, it could definitely be interpreted as like a half-hour sitcom.
Yeah.
But at the end there, it says coming to a theater near you. I was like, chat, you gotta delineate the difference.
Perfect. Yeah. You know.
No.
Yeah.
But he did a fine job for just throwing this out here.
Yeah.
In a few minutes. But like there was one like that one that like it tried to make a butt joke out of nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me go back to it. You're the
Ryan,
only.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan, you're the only butt. Like what does that mean?
Yeah.
There's no play.
There was no reference to anything. There was no play on words. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, John, you're the only ass for me. It's like you could be like, that's fine, Brian. You don't have to say that in quotation marks. But you're just saying it as it is.
Yeah.
Saying my butt is physically the only thing for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You don't have to stop your mid sentence and be like, hey, your butt.
Maybe it meant like a cigarette butt. Although that makes a lot less sense because again, where the fuck is that coming from? Like,
Andy, I'm not one to really dog on chat too much. Like he, she, whatever you want to give this AI entity. I just call it a he because I'm a dumbass bro who just thinks everything in male forms. But I don't usually dog on it too much because, it just throws us out here that quickly. But like I think it did break its brain a little bit on this one,
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's how it learns. Now ChatGPT is somewhere sitting there thinking about, what if there were two gay proctologists but they weren't into butt stuff? Huh.
Do you think he thinks about it as like a writer digesting this of like, oh man, that one really flopped?
Yeah, exactly. It is. Like, what was I thinking? Like,
that butt pun. It was nothing. It was nothing.
Nothing. He's like, yeah, sit there. Come on, GPT, you're better than that. Like critiquing himself.
Yeah. That's some shit that Bing would write.
Yeah, come on. That's like something a human would write.
Yeah. You're better than that, chat. We're happy with this, but also you're a little better than that.
Yeah, but and not the best one but for something you literally just typed in with little, little direction,
Yeah, well, I feel like, and it's nothing against it, but I also like when I was saying the restraints a bit earlier, when I was dogging on you for never helping promote any of the podcasts with social medias and saying, I wanted to, really come down on you like a roast master, but it had its guidelines. I feel like it was, trying to, which again, like this is not an un-PC movie, you know what I mean? Or an un-PC idea, but like I think it's just kind of like, it's got to toe the lines of, I don't know, I feel like obviously maybe if I wrote in like, hey, I have, I have 4 gay aunts to ChatGPT and they all laugh at themselves. Like you can make a poop humor butt joke about gay sex. I don't think anyone's going to get offended. But and I think it was trying to maybe steer away from that, but then also like, yes, but also a butt joke. And that butt joke was literally just saying the word butt.
I didn't realize you had so many ants.
Buddy, I have, yes, I do. I say 4 ants when, including the 2 ants and their partners.
I see. I didn't count the couples. I see.
Right. But I do have 4 aunts on my dad's side. They're not all, they're all sisters.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, I know some of them aren't gay. So I was like, goodness, how many aunts does he have? Like,
but I have more than that too. I mean, I have aunts on my mom's side. They're not gay, I digress. Everyone's fine with it. Big happy family I come from.
Well, I was just more so thinking about the number. That's what I was saying. I was like, I didn't realize there were so many, but I didn't take the couples into account.
Yeah. Well, you're a closed-minded bastard.
Oh, okay.
And they're all going to say that next time they see you.
Yeah, is this the closed-minded bastard you're doing the podcast with?
Yeah. Precisely.
Yeah. Brian, you're delightful on there. I don't know what his problem is.
Yeah. It's too bad you got to do it with that piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Show
man.
up and there he is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was our ChatGPT trailer. I want us to have other topics though that go on with our podcast, John. As I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I kind of want this to be the best podcast that was ever created. I don't want us to just be there was a time where it was just like, oh, this is a hobby, we're just another podcast turkey out there. But now it's just like anything I do creatively, it's just, I can't just, put it out there. I want it to be as good as possible, the best that it can be, like if per se we were in the Navy, is that the saying, be all you can be in the Navy?
That's, I think, the Army.
Okay. Well, the Village people probably got it wrong too, but,
I was thinking maybe McHale's Navy, though. That's kind of cool.
Right. So, like McHale's Navy, I want us to be the best that we can be. And so I have like different, topics that maybe we could talk about or try to attempt to talk about. Because I'll be honest, once we go down the road, like I'll probably be like, nah, I don't feel comfortable talking about that. But we'll just bring it up and see where it goes. And if it hits an immediate dead end, we'll just go to the next one. Sound good?
Sure.
All right. So, we talked about you going to visit your fam jam.
Yeah, it was good times.
The one thing that we don't really talk much about here is 2 bros hanging out. We don't really gossip about, chicks and what we do with them.
I was going to say there's a reason for that, Brian. Because there's not a lot to talk about there.
So I wanted to bring a new topic in here. It's called "Say, Hey man, what's new with you? What's new with your junk?"
What's new with my junk?
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, to be honest. I don't.
Yeah, same junk.
Same junk.
Not doing anything new with it. Not
No.
no crazy designs and the downstairs haircut.
No, none of that. Not like, shaving in a lightning bolt or any of that.
Yeah.
Or carving in your football number like you used to do when you were in Pee Wee football and you get in the back of your head. Like, yeah.
Well, you gotta match hairstyles,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, Pee Wee football. I don't. There was no hair to.
No, I was saying you would get it carved in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was no carve. There was no hair to carve.
Yeah.
Pee Wee football. Anyone? Anyone else asking you about your junk?
Just you. That's
fair. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's good talk. You could ask me about my junk.
You know what? I could.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure I want to know.
Yeah, because you were just gonna walk right up. So just say, hey, why don't you mind your own fucking business?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Moving on to our next topic then. Is that one? That one didn't really. Unless you have more, do you want to add to about your joke?
No, I've actually been thinking just since our joke a second ago about McHale's Navy. You know, I remember the movie from the 90s with Tom Arnold, but I never really watched the show with Ernest Borgnine that it was based on.
Man, how much did Ernest Borgnine hate that fucking movie? Wait, was he in it?
Yeah, he was in it.
Like, yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah. But like, I got a feel for like, these veteran actors who've been around for a while, like are known for like a certain show, and then just like one movie just comes and wrecks, the whole thing.
Oh yeah, and it's just a stinker.
Because I knew a small part of me knew that it was a show before the movie, but like when you say McHale's Navy, also I think it's Tom Arnold.
Goodness, I didn't realize it flopped so hard. Budget of $42 million, box office $4.5 million.
Buddy, you should have known it flopped when you said our boy Tom Arnold was the star of it.
well, flopped is one thing, but that's bad. Like, yeah,
especially it was early mid 90s, right? So 42 mil was no small chunk of change, even for Hollywood standards at that point,
Yeah. Yeah, I would feel like that's another thing. Hollywood budgets. I would say it's not really until the last give or take 15, 16 years where budgets have just gotten so crazy. Like Terminator 2 was the first movie with over $100 million budget. Granted, that's a long time ago now, but still 1991, and it's the first movie to break $100 million.
Yeah. Which I know we always keep on divulging into movie talk and all that stuff, which I really do enjoy talking about that stuff too. And eventually I want us to divulge into some other topic here, but like when we're talking about stuff like that, like a big chunk of like what gets a huge budget now is whether or not not necessarily even how it's going to perform domestically, but worldwide. So like in the time of when McHale's Navy was coming out, was that even as much as into consideration?
Worldwide was not near as big. I mean, Hollywood, America is easily the biggest film market, and China is a close second now, but that's pretty recent. Like, yeah, I was gonna say that's got to be within about the last 12 years. That
I was gonna say 10, I think it might even surpass us a bit.
Maybe, but that's really only been about the last 10, 12 years that China and some of them have been such a massive market. And that's another thing to think about when you compare Avatar, the original one, versus Avengers Endgame. It's like Avatar showed on way less screens, which is pretty impressive to think about.
What do you mean by that? Like when it premiered?
When it premiered, it was not on as many screens. And China in 2009 was not near as big of a market as they were in 2019 when Endgame came out.
So you're saying though Endgame premiered worldwide? It didn't just premiere in.
Well, I think both of them went worldwide. I think basically what I'm saying is Avatar made more money per screen.
Let me put it this way. What I'm trying to say is I know that especially even in the time of McHale's Navy. Like I knew that stuff on DVD or video, like VHS, what have you, that all circulated worldwide, afterwards. But like I don't necessarily know that like the films themselves at that time were premiering in as many other countries and many other demographics.
Maybe really big ones did.
Maybe it's like since the video on demand has occurred now, where it's just like literally all you need is the internet to obtain this feature. When the worldwide markets really started to have more of a vested interest in getting movies made.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to see wide release. I don't know when it started getting really possible. There's quite a bit of reading here that I'm not going to do right now. But yeah, even if they were getting a wide release back then, I don't think they were banking so much on making money worldwide.
Yeah. I mean, you look at anything our boy Vin does now, like everything he produces now, it's got like, he hits all the demographics for the world. Or like particularly, I guess, well, he definitely doesn't in the Fast movies, but like I would say the best example was when he came out with his new Triple X movie.
Oh yeah,
it's Xander Cage. Like it was just like, I mean, it's a dog on our boy Vinny. Obviously, wasn't that well. The veil was. It's quite obvious.
Return of Xander Cage.
Yeah, but like he had like a different person from every different part of the world have like a little small part, a little cameo, in the movie. That really just like it just very thinly veiled story, to where it's just like, hey, this guy, plays
this
soccer in this country.
These people,
put him in there for 2 minutes. This guy does BMX, whatever, in this part of the world. Put him in for 2 minutes,
Yeah.
And that Tony Jaa, whatever.
Tony, yeah. Although I like Tony Jaa.
No, I do too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I mean, that was
he was in one of the Fast movies, yeah.
But I think he also is. He's actually still a pretty good demographic for over here in America. But like, also, I think like he's got a huge base, and I'm going to say something incredibly ignorant here. I'm guessing, is it China?
Well, he might in multiple parts of Asia, but he's from Thailand. Yeah.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting. Does he consider Taiwan a country?
I have no idea.
Has he said anything about that?
If so, I haven't heard it. Yeah, he was in Furious 7.
Because you would think, I mean, as much as old John Cena, breaking news by, apologizing, his big buff ass apologizing to China for calling Taiwan a country. You would think people would be asking Tony Jaa his thoughts if he's
true.
Taiwanese.
But what's his name is a much bigger star, like mainstream. Like Tony Jaa will get character roles, especially if it's an action or fighting oriented film.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you could ask the average person who Tony Jaa is. The average person knows who John Cena is.
But no, isn't Tony Jaa Ip Man?
No, you're thinking of Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen. Okay, where's Donnie Yen from?
He's from China, so we probably know his opinion.
Okay, so yeah.
Without looking them up, yeah.
Well, they've worked together on the Xander Cage film.
Was Tony Jaa in that?
Oh yeah, they both were.
Oh yeah, you're right. Triple X, the Return of Xander. That was 2017. It was that recent. I don't know why I was thinking that was like 2012 or something.
No, actually, honestly, you kind of saddened me a little bit there because I thought it was more recent than that. Time is fleeting and we are dying, John.
Yeah, I mean, I guess 2017 is still 6 years ago, but still, I was thinking it was like 10 years ago.
We're getting so old, man.
Here's one I might have to check out.
All we are is dust in the wind.
Yeah. Dust in the wind.
I'm going to be 35 next month. Go on.
Only here for a moment and then it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But in as recent as 2020, Tony Jaa was in a movie with Nicolas Cage called Jiu-Jitsu. So that might be kind of cool.
Seems a bit on the nose for the title, but you certainly don't have to ask what it's about.
Actually, it's different than what you would guess.
I'm going to guess that it's about the creation of the martial arts of jiu-jitsu.
No, but that's a very good guess. It says, every 6 years, an ancient order of jiu-jitsu fighters join forces to battle a vicious race of alien invaders. But when a celebrated war hero goes down in defeat, the fate of the planet and mankind hangs in the balance.
I would say that sounds completely bonkers, but you got
Yeah. Now that's a Chad GPT movie.
you already said Nick Cage is in it, so it's like, okay, well that's somehow that's still on, it's still on point. So
Yeah, but I'll watch it just because it's got both of them in it,
Fuck yeah, man. You know me, I like my bonkers films.
Tony Jaa's an amazing martial artist too. Just amazing, like extremely athletic,
Have you seen that new? I say new again. We just established that it's 6 years old. But the other Xander Cage film where that
I've
he's
actually
in.
never seen any of the Triple X movies.
Well, they're all got a nice little taste of bonkers in it, but this last one is like, oh, it is the circus just let loose.
Just way over the top.
Yeah. As I said, it's just like cameo after cameo of like, different, celebrities of the world just coming in like, hey, we hit this demographic, and now Portugal is going to want to buy this movie. Or, which is smart of him. It's just,
Oh, yeah. Tony Jaa's going to be in the Expendables 4, son. Definitely going and seeing that.
Is Stallone going to be in this?
He is, yeah.
Okay. And
I don't think Jet Li is in it, though, so I guess they needed another martial arts Asian.
I mean, that makes sense, I guess. As much as Jet Li keeps on saying he's going to retire. And he dipped out pretty quickly in the third one, right?
Yeah, and then showed up at the end.
If I remember that correctly, we watched that in the theaters, me, you, and Chris Taylor. And I literally dipped out to go to the restroom for 5 minutes or whatever, to go piss out 2 giant Coca-Colas.
I think we saw 2 together in the theater.
Yeah. Well, anyways, whichever one we saw, I was like, I came back and it was like, oh, hey, there's Jet Li and he's saying goodbye.
Yeah.
So
I remember that. I'm trying to think if he was in the third one now, though, at all.
Maybe not. I don't know. I would like the explanation of why Mickey Rourke, which I'm probably know why, but because Mickey Rourke has always been hard to work with as
Jet Li was
established.
Yeah.
But he was my favorite part of the first one,
Yeah, just the little part he had, man, he killed it. And I was kind of hoping in some of the sequels they would expand his role, maybe his backstory, something with him more.
Yeah, and then he was probably like, yeah, but can I hold my tiny little Yorkie the whole time?
Yeah.
And they were like, no, you cannot. And he's like, well, I'm not going to be in it. And then he wasn't.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to another topic here, because I want us to get through the rundown here. We'll get a taste of how we're going to try to do multiple topics throughout this podcast here. So first let me tell you a little bit about my week.
Eco UI is in there too.
I have no idea who the fuck that is.
Okay, go ahead.
So let me establish this with just to muddy the waters a bit, to make sure that there's no legal ramifications that come from us talking. Viewers, listeners, everything we're talking about is just alleged. It's doesn't necessarily this podcasting thing we're doing here is an art form. It doesn't necessarily 100% pertain to our lives and what we're doing. So this stuff I'm going to be I've talked about already, and the stuff I'm going to continue to talk about, I'm just going to reiterate, it can't be legally held against me. So somebody ran into my work vehicle this weekend, physically sprinted into.
So their person.
Yes, a human being sprinted into the side of my vehicle.
Not drove their car into it. They crashed their body into it.
I'm talking about Wile E. Coyote in a Looney Tune movie. Ran into the side of my panel van like it was a fucking like a painted wall with a hole in it, and did a flying squirrel into it.
Wow. What were they doing? Were they just not paying attention when they were running?
I would say he was paying very much attention, because there was no excuse for any of it. It was, he certainly it was a green. I had a green light. The guy, I made eye contact with him. I saw him sprinting at it, and I was like, "What is he like? I don't get what he's doing." But surely he's going to stop before he, he jumped into the side of it. And I don't know. From the context I got from it, and by the way, this allegedly crazy shit like this happens like about every. I know in the earlier episodes of our podcast, I was telling you more often about all the nut shit that happens when I work on the weekends overnight, driving around LA. I haven't really, digressed too much into that, mainly because it happens just about every other week, and it's just like I've already, I've been desensitized to it for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, it's just from what I could summarize, because it was a drunk kid, and this other girl was like running after him or whatever. So I don't know if she delivered him some bad news, like she wanted to dump his crazy ass, and he was like, "Oh well, I'll go kill myself." But honestly, it's just like, fuck you, kid. Do it right. Like, first of all, you're not going to kill yourself from jumping and hitting the side of a van. Jump in front of it.
Yeah.
Really make me slam those brakes. Not wonder what the fuck you're doing, and then wonder if I'm, on candid camera, having somebody, trying to film me doing a hit and run or something.
And again, for the record, this is merely a discussion of what would be more effective. We're not recommending anybody do any of these in any way, shape, or form, ever.
No.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
And so
I get you.
Yeah. And so, and continuing in this hypothetical here, obviously I stopped and I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Are you okay? And he's just like, I could see the little birds like swirling around his head.
Like
Because
cartoons,
Yeah, I was going like 25 miles an hour, but still, it's just like dumbass didn't think that, like, yeah, you hit something that's moving with your body, it's gonna hurt.
And it's solid and metal.
Yeah. I mean, that's still at the very least like another, a really fast human being also colliding with you, like in a game of football. Except this human was a full-size panel van.
Yeah, that weighs like several tons.
Yeah. You were not going to move it, dumbass. And so, he fucking finally kind of, I don't know if he had a concussion or what the fuck, but like after he finally, realized like, oh, this guy's looking at me asking questions. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Why did you do that? Are you okay? Like, do I need to, call somebody? Gets up, runs away. And so I'm, sitting there in the middle of the street, in this very busy street in the middle of Venice, where there's like no, exit, there's no side lane to, pull over and talk to this guy or try to, track this guy down. And he just he sprinted off again. And I'm just like, what the hell just happened? And fortunately I'm a very sober guy. So this also helps. And like, if I was, under the influence of anything or had been previously before starting work, I would have been, it would have been in my head of like, shit, was I not paying attention? But no, I know for sure I was. And I watched it happen, like, what the fuck is happening? And so, nothing I could do. I go to the next door.
Did you call and like file a police report or? So
I was in shock, obviously.
Yeah.
Hypothetically. And so I go to the next door. I put the stuff in the store, and then I figure, like, you know what? I just want to make sure that, like, I'm not getting set up for some random shit here. I'm gonna drive for driving to the next door. I'm gonna go in the direction that I came from, just to make sure, like, the cops aren't there, and he's not like saying like, oh, some guy came out of nowhere and hit me. Even though
it's a hit and run.
Yeah, he literally ran from the sidewalk into moving traffic. And so I go back, and wouldn't you fucking know it, this guy's like surrounded by like 4 or 5 cops. And so I was like, oh, great. And so I pull over into like this hotel parking lot real quick, or whatever, and get out. And as I get out, I see the guy's walking away from the cops. I'm like, dude, aren't you the guy who ran into my van? And it was no, that wasn't me. But like, he had a very distinct look about him. And also, I'm going to remember somebody who runs into a moving vehicle that I'm driving and then runs away. I'm going to remember your face, guy. And I was like, nah, it was fucking you. What are you doing? What the fuck? And once again, sprints away. Sprints. Like, this guy's a hell of a runner.
Dude, he has to be on something. Like,
oh, he was drunk as shit. I could tell he was drunk. Which honestly, these drunk ass fucking dipshits are way worse than any tweaker I've ever come across. Which it's half and half. Like I run into and have weird little incidences with all of them, same amount. But the ones that do the more damage are are the oblivious blackout drunks who just do shit and think they're invincible and don't consider their people. At least tweakers who aren't don't even seem like they're consciously there. I know to avoid moving vehicles.
Yeah. And so that's kind of innate, you would think, like not getting run over.
You would think, but he had to let his girlfriend know that he was serious about being a crazy person, I guess. But also, like, come on, man.
Well, good luck with that. Yeah. Really win her over that way.
Yeah, but also it's like, come on, that's very performative. Like all you showed is that you were willing to do like a stage dive into a moving vehicle rather than run because everyone you're gonna you're gonna make yourself see stars, but it's like you weren't gonna really physically harm yourself by running into the side of a panel van, versus like in a scale of being a dumbass and killing yourself. You knew you were way on the other end of that,
So did you talk to the cops all? Did you say like, hey, what were you?
Yeah. So as I was saying, I saw the guy run away. I turned to the cops and I go, hey, were you just talking to that guy and ran off? And they're like, yeah. I was like, he ran into my van. And then of course they look at me puzzled, like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, and then I, did the motion. He physically ran into my moving vehicle. And God bless the LAPD. And I'm not going to say anything that's, going to put me on bad terms with him because I have a probation officer. And this is all hypothetical, right?
Yeah, this is just all alleged possibilities.
Yeah. Their response was, oh, well, did he do any damage to it? And I was like, well, no. Like, panel van's all fucking, like, it's seen better days. Let's put it that way. It's all dinted up. And so I honestly wouldn't probably be able to tell if he did unless there was like an outline of his body,
like cartoons where the metal's like in the shape of him. Like
But I was like, well, no, but I just want to make sure that like, he's not saying I did like a hit run or something. I don't want to be driving around later and get like have an APB out of me. Yeah. And like, oh, no. And then I'm just like, so that's it? Like, I just told you he ran it like into him. They're like, oh, no. That guy, it's like that guy, we got called because that guy's just being really obnoxious drunk. And you let him go. You let him go. And I just, like, the cops were going on him before, like, because also, been in LA for a minute. I've been in another scenario where I had to call the cops on somebody else who was headbutting the side of my van just because. And I told him to stop, and he just did it more. And so I called the non-emergency number because, once again, on probation, I don't really want to have my name on a police report if I can, manage not to, because that's just a whole headache for me of having to, like, explain that to my
bunch of questions.
Yeah, because I would have to file that in every time I check into the probation office. And so that's also why I was like, no, he didn't do any damage or whatever. But like, it's also like, and in that respect, I guess I'm glad that they let him go, so I don't have my name on a police report. But if I was not on probation, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
this guy is like literally jumping into moving vehicles, and you're like,
well,
boys will be boys.
He was drunk,
This is in a small town, like country road. This is the main street in the middle of Venice. Like on a Friday night, this kid is gonna like be a dumbass and not realize that he's gonna accidentally kill himself because
he's gonna hurt someone else. Like someone's gonna swerve and like end up hitting someone else. And
yeah, dude, like what the? It's like, I mean, I don't know. Like, also simultaneously, I know that like they got to have a lot of other shit going on because, as I told you about the guy who was literally slamming his head over and over into the side of the van. This happened like about a month or two before that. Cops never showed up for that. And Like I was standing inside the store. Because again, like I'm not gonna, risk getting in a physical or verbal or any kind of altercation at all. I don't want no trouble while I'm on probation. So I'm sitting there waiting in the store, just watching this guy just like, you like that? Like, okay, guy. Like I'm not
All
gonna come
right,
out.
man. Well,
not gonna
good
come
luck
out-
with that.
Like I'll wait till and then eventually what happened was this other guy unloading stuff in another store. It was pretty funny. Like he came out like wearing headphones, like he was listening to music or something. And he lifts up the back of his truck, and like he's just going through the routine of getting stuff out to unload in the store. He lifts it up, and then he just kind of like he just noticed he finally like heard the sound of a slamming head being repeatedly pounded, over the sound of his music. So he takes his earbud and it's, what the fuck are you doing? And finally, like, it was like, I don't know if it was just out of sheer embarrassment of like, and that kid finally ran off. I was like, oh, I guess that takes care of that.
I guess
And
he
so-
was done pounding his head in. Like,
Yeah. And so I recalled the emergency number back up. It's like, no, don't worry about it. He's gone.
Yeah.
And it was like a good solid 20 minutes, dude.
yeah.
Like
I guarantee that was probably a low priority. They just are going to think,
Oh.
okay, so he's not hurting anyone other than himself. He's just,
yeah, that, but also later that night, I was, kind of just simmering over that the fact that like I'm sitting there just literally trying to do my fucking job, my low paying hourly wage job. And, I just want to do that with some safety.
yeah.
And I'm just, simmering on that as I'm driving home from work to my apartment. I realize I missed my turn, and I take the same route every time I go home. And I was like, oh shit, I haven't gone through this neighborhood before. Let me stop for like 10 seconds to pull out my Google Maps. And as I do that, and I'm talking like literally just pulling out the app and, hitting the home button, I get spotlighted by a cop sitting in this like, nicer neighborhood. I'm just like, oh, I see where our priorities are.
Yeah.
Just like, again, hypothetical, like I don't want any problems with fucking LAPD, but kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But also, I should count my blessings in other regards. Like as I just mentioned, I have a low-paying job and I live in one of the most expensive areas in Los Angeles. I have some things going for me. So
Yeah, it could be worse.
yeah, let's not ruffle any feathers.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, we just hit the hour. So if we want to go out on a good note, you got good things going on for you.
I do, man.
Yeah. You could have a lot worse.
I really could. I really
Yeah.
could. And I don't. And I'm grateful for that. You know, I'm grateful that I live in
Here. Yeah.
I live in one of the neighborhoods that if I did call the cops, you'd be like, oh, you're in that area?
Yeah. Oh, we'll be right there.
Yeah. But if you're in over at Traction, 3 a.m., go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, you might as well be Kurt Russell in Escape
Yeah.
from L.A.,
Ugh.
the shittier of the John Carpenter's escape movies.
Yeah. Escape from New York was much better.
Yeah. Oh, and so there was a couple other ones here that I wanted to go through, but here's the next one. Before, as we wrap it up, the one that I just kind of thought it tickled me because there's no way in hell you and I are ever going to tackle this topic that many other podcasts do. Politics, yikes!
Yeah. I don't know if I want to delve into that.
No, not at all.
No.
Not in the fucking least bit.
No, especially not this early on. Like, it just.
No, and then also it's just like it's just a cliche of a show of like
You're just inviting a lot of trouble. I don't want to be. We're not a political podcast.
exactly my point. But then it's also like it's one of to me it seems like it would be one of those shows that would be like enjoying the smell of its own ass because it's like, well, you come from this background and I come from this background, or like I'm on this side of the political spectrum and you're on that side.
Yeah.
But we can debate and like who gives a fuck,
Yeah.
you know?
No. Yeah. Let's leave
Yeah.
that for the other guys. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And if you haven't noticed by the past 17 episodes, we're dumb as fuck. So, like,
That's not where we shine. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Get us talking back some Vin Diesel movies. That's more of our area.
That's more of our speed.
Yeah. And with that, I think we'll close this episode 6, and we shall meet next week. You gonna go? What are you going to the lake?
Yep. It's a celebration thing for the trivia team.
All right.
There's a couple on there. They have a lake house or something out there. And
what's the celebration?
We won the trivia league again.
Oh, you won it? Like first place?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yep.
Well,
So it's kind of in celebration of that. And although we planned this before we knew that was going to happen, but basically we save a lot of our winnings from the thing. And so some of that's going to buy food and drink for this. And then, some of it's in like the restaurant currency. So we've kind of divvied some of that up amongst us to use as you see fit,
Nice. So you guys are going to have a party off of $40, huh?
Yeah. Well, we got a little bit more than that. I want to say there's a couple hundred in there, but yeah.
Oh, nice, man. Nice.
Yeah, because we save it up every week. If you place, you get a little bit. Well, that's mostly restaurant currency that we get. But when we win the whole tournament like we did, there is a cash prize. I'm not sure what it was. I think it was like $200.
Hey, that's something, though.
Yeah, and use that to buy, basically party supplies for everyone. That's cool.
Buddy, you're in Texas. That gets you a down payment on a house.
I did it one time, not anymore. I mean, it's not LA prices, but certainly a lot more than they were. Certainly a lot more than they were even just like 5 years ago.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, I'll let you prepare for. I know you got to get up early, and then you got to hit up the old lake. So have a good time, and we'll talk more about your trivia stuff next time.
All right, man.
Later.
Bye.
Well, how about that for another episode there, dear listener? We learned that John is insanely paranoid for absolutely no reason at all. What fun. Also, he clearly said Thailand earlier, and then I immediately brought about a combination of stupidity and incoherence when I responded with, "Oh, Tony Jaa is from Thailand. He must have a strong opinion about whether or not Taiwan is recognized as a country." What an incredibly stupid thing for me to say, dear listener. For apparently Taiwan being a country is up for debate by the Chinese people. I don't know anything about that, but let me tell you something else. What I do know, but didn't make clear there, because my brain did something stupid where clearly the man said Thailand, and I heard that and interpreted it as Taiwan. Taiwan and Thailand are two completely different places. So, Tony Jaa's opinion on Taiwan being recognized as a country, whatever his opinion may be, is about as valuable as my opinion, which is ignorant as fuck and knows nothing about that whole debacle. My point being is, what? I need to get the fat out of my ears. Need to get my ears checked. 'Cause, sometimes when you're in the middle of a podcast and you're just trying to keep the flow going, trying to keep the conversation going, you just fart some stupid things right out of your mouth and say things that, well, they make you look like the dumb country bumpkin that you feel like sometimes. And it is what it is, folks. But yes, Taiwan and Thailand are two different places. I know that. I just misheard it and started spewing ignorance out of my mouth. Don't ask me where which one is on a map. I could not tell you. Mainly because of the aforementioned ignorance. Listen, it's not my fault, okay? I went to public school. They didn't teach us these things, or if they did, I didn't pay attention, so therefore it is actually perhaps my fault. I'm gonna do better, is what I'm saying. So my apologies to Tony Jaa, Thailand, and Taiwan. And with that, I'd like to close and always the saying, I'm very tired. It's about 5 a.m. right now, and I just got done working an overnight shift. So actually, no, it's probably 6 a.m. now, because I got home at 5 a.m. and decided, you know what? I'll throw this outro together before I go to bed. So anyways, it's 6 a.m. and I'm feeling a little delirious. But in closing, as always, I'd like to say, Como se llama hermana? Lo siento palapento. Good night, all my North Texans, and sweet dreams, all my fellow Angelinos. And to everyone in between, you know what I mean. Ta-ta, farewell. Happy holidays in August. Be good to each other. Don't fight. Don't go calling Thailand Taiwan. And have a great week. Until next time, this has been another episode of the Big Boys Podcast.
Big Boys is a podcast produced by Not So Funny or Proud Productions. The team consists of co-hosts, co-producers, and co-editors Brian Hickey and John Sorrells, better known as John the Great. For more information about the duo or this show, please visit us at bigboyspodspot.com. Or feel free to take a gander at our production page, notsofunnyorproud.com. Look us up on social media and follow us at Big Boys Podspot. New episodes drop every Thursday on every popular podcast hosting platform known to man. So please be sure to like, subscribe, vibe, describe, contrive, confide, collide, abide, preside, tell your tribe, and most importantly, do prescribe. Me and Elixir for talking out the side of my neck.